I wish you all a fond hello, my name is Alan Dale. My hope is that we entertain with this our evening's tale. In Sherwood Forest, dark and deep, dwells Robin Hood and Sooth. An outlaw and his merry men, they're living fast and loose.
Fast and loose?
I'm trying to get this thing some star power, princess. Welcome to Disney Animation Reviews. I just sang a song about Robin Hood because tonight we're going to talk about Robin Hood.
Woo!
Yeah, you wish. Robin Hood is Disney's 21st animated feature film and the first one to be conceived and created without the guidance of their wise leader, Walt Disney. After Aristocats, in fall of 1971, Disney opened their Disneyland in Orlando, Walt's Disney World, with the Magic Kingdom. It was Walt's brother, Roy Disney, who decided to call it Walt's Disney World in honor of his brother. A few months later, just in time for Christmas 1971, Disney came out with the live-action film Bedknobs and Broomsticks, a second cousin to Mary Poppins, you might say. Why would I say that? Because they both got songs by the Sherman Brothers, they're both directed by Robert Stevenson, and they've got some of the same actors, one of whom is David Tomlinson.
And the star is Angela Lansbury.
20 years later, the voice of Mrs. Potts in Beauty and the Beast. Bedknobs and Broomsticks got mixed reviews, but nabbed 5 Oscar nominations and won one for Best Visual Effects, like Mary Poppins before it. Disney did not win another Oscar for more than 15 years until 1988 when Roger Rabbit won 3 Oscars, including Best Visual Effects. After Bedknobs and Broomsticks, however, tragedy struck the studio once again. It had been 5 years since Walt had died, and just 1 week after Bedknobs and Broomsticks, on December 20th, 1971, Walt's older brother and business partner, Roy Disney, also passed away.
Aw, how sad.
Without their confident leaders, the Disney studios struggled for years. And their struggle shows with their first animated feature film made without either Walt or Roy. Disney's 21st animated classic, Robin Hood, based off the classic legend, but starring anthropomorphic animals. If I remember correctly, this is Disney's first all-animal animated feature, and the last one for about 20 years until The Lion King. But of course, in Lion King, the animals like actual animals, but in Robin Hood, they act like humans. So Robin Hood first came out in fall of 1973. The original idea was that they were going to do Reynard the Fox, but ultimately they decided that wasn't going to work because Reynard's not a good protagonist. They decided to do Robin Hood instead, but they did it with animals instead of people. It was actually art director Ken Anderson's idea. Robin Hood actually did pretty well at the box office, but got mixed reviews. In fact, in chronological order of initial release, it's the first animated Disney feature film in the canon to have a rotten score on the Rotten Tomatoes site. So, is Robin Hood that bad? Well, that's what we're about to find out. This is the story of the Disney version of Robin Hood. So we start with narration from our minstrel narrator, Alan Dale, who's a rooster, voiced by country singer and songwriter Roger Miller, and he introduces us through the opening song, Oodalolly, to Robin Hood, who is a fox in this film, and his sidekick Little John, who's a bear. They rob the rich to give to the poor and needy. You see, Prince John, voiced by the great Sir Peter Ustinov, has taken over the Kingdom of England while his brother, King Richard, is away fighting in the Holy Crusade. Prince John unfairly taxes the poor citizens of Nottingham. So, Robin Hood and Little John steal from Prince John so they can have food and homes. Prince John, of course, wants to capture Robin Hood, and we get to see how Robin Hood deals with Prince John trying to capture him. We also, obviously, have a love story between Robin Hood and Prince John / King Richard's niece, Maid Marian, a female fox. Vixen is what they call that.
Right.
Okay, since Robin Hood is the first animated Disney feature film with mixed reviews and a negative Rotten Tomatoes score, I'm gonna start with the bad stuff first. First of all, the animation. At this point in life with Disney feature animation, they were trying to save money, so the animation isn't as good. In fact, they had animation problems on Aristocats as well, with the look of Paris. If you compare Paris and Aristocats to Paris years later in the Disney Pixar film Ratatouille, I know it's different animation genres, but Paris and Ratatouille looks a lot better than Paris and the Aristocats.
Yeah.
And the bad animation carries over to Robin Hood. In fact, they had to recycle a lot of animation from past Disney films. If you watch this on Phony King of England, you'll notice if you've seen Jungle Book, Aristocats, and Snow White, they borrow animated dance moves from all three of those films for that one song.
Oh.
Another thing that is a bit of a problem with Robin Hood is, I think everyone has heard the story of Robin Hood numerous times, so if you have, or have seen another movie or TV show or whatever that tells the story, then this version of Robin Hood probably isn't going to differentiate from any other versions of Robin Hood, aside from the fact that it's animals. One good thing about Robin Hood is the voice acting. But even then, the voice acting is a bit of a problem. Because they have new people, like Brian Bedford as the voice of Robin Hood, Sir Peter Ustinov as Prince John. Ustinov does a great job. You've got Andy Devine as Friar Tuck, and Terry Thomas as Sir Hiss, a snake who serves as Prince John's sidekick. But in addition, they've got actors they've worked with before. Phil Harris, for the third and final animated Disney feature film in a row, does a voice. He's the voice of Little John, who's basically just a copy of Baloo from the Jungle Book. Pat Buttram voices the Sheriff of Nottingham, and one of his vulture guards is voiced by George Lindsay. They had just come off of voicing the dogs in Aristocats. Same thing with Maid Marian and her lady-in-waiting, Lady Cluck, who are voiced by Monica Evans and Carol Shelley, who had just come off of voicing the geese in the Aristocats. And they also have a couple of actors from Winnie the Pooh doing voices in this one. Roger Miller, who's the voice of Alan Adale, is another one of the newbies. He does a good job. So that's pretty much everything negative on Robin Hood. I think the only positives are the voice acting, even with the actors they've reused over and over again, and the music. Robin Hood, and even the music in Robin Hood is a bit of a problem. All of Alan Adale's songs are written and sung by Roger Miller, who does his voice, but probably the only notable one is Oodalali, which opens the film. There's the Robin Hood and Maid Marian love song, appropriately titled Love, composed by George Bruns, who also did the score. This is his last animated Disney feature film, I think, that he scored. He scored every animated Disney feature film from Sleeping Beauty on.
Okay.
So Robin Hood is his last. So George Bruns composed the song Love, and it was written by Floyd Huddleston, who wrote Everybody Wants to Be a Cat for the Aristocats, and the gal who sings the song is Floyd Huddleston's wife, Nancy Adams. And then my personal favorite song is The Phony King of England, which is about Prince John, but it's sung by Little John. This one was written by Johnny Mercer. So for the first time, Phil Harris' song in a Disney animated feature film was not written by Terry Gilkyson. So yeah, I like some of the songs, and even with the reused voice actors, the voice cast is all pretty good for this film. But the animation isn't very good, and the storyline's kind of weak, because if you've seen previous versions of Robin Hood, this is no different, except for the whole animals thing. So there's some good stuff about Robin Hood, but honestly, with the bad animation and the storyline we've seen a million times on Robin Hood's storylines, yeah, this is an animated Disney feature film that, honestly, I could do without.
Well, I don't know. When I first saw Robin Hood, it immediately turned into one of my personal favorites. I like the Robin Hood and Maid Marian love story, but the one thing I complain about is that after Maid Marian's appearances, like, she's in Phony King of England, and after that, she disappears. but they actually had an alternate ending where she played a key role.
Right. Yeah, that's another problem with this movie, is Robin Hood and Maid Marian are fairly weak as far as protagonists go. Even Cinderella had more of a personality than these characters. So, if you haven't seen the Disney version of Robin Hood, honestly, you're not missing out on too much, but if you want to give it a shot, go ahead. I'm just saying, don't say I didn't warn you, because I sure did. Robin Hood is celebrating its 45th anniversary this fall, but its latest home video release was a 40th anniversary edition Blu-ray and DVD release in the summer of 2013. The Blu-ray includes a deleted storyline called Love Letters. The DVD includes some games, and both the Blu-ray and DVD include an art gallery, sing-along songs, an alternate ending, like you said, and the classic Mickey and Minnie Mouse short, Ye Olden Days, in its original black and white version. Some versions have colorized it, but this is the original black and white version. So that's my thoughts on Robin Hood. It's pretty good if you like action and adventure, and if you like animals acting like people. Animals instead of people is a new take to the Robin Hood story, but it feels a little too episodic and cliched. And honestly, the episodicness makes Robin Hood more, in the middle / below average, like Alice in Wonderland, instead of using different storylines to tie it all together into a main storyline like Pinocchio and the Jungle Book did. But if you haven't seen the Disney version of Robin Hood, I guess it's okay to check out once or twice every couple of years, but don't be surprised if it doesn't end up being one of your favorites. Well, we're out of time for today. Remember, when you wish upon a star, your dreams come true.
Goodbye!
See you soon!